Hey yo, what's up? My name is Myne, and welcome back to the Hytale podcast, the premier Hytale podcast. We were talking about everything Hytale. With me is my partner Chris. Say hello.
What's up, everybody?
And today we're going to be talking about the probably most talked about question for this unreleased game, and that is, will you have to pay for it? Do you have to pay
Yes.
for Hytale? We don't know that yet, but we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the possibilities of it. So, Chris, I know you have your sides, and you're very how do I say it? You are very emotional. You are very passionate about it being free to play.
Yep.
Let's talk about what all of the possibilities for Hytale could be before we delve into some of them. So we have free to play,
Of course. There's pay to
then we
play.
have pay to play, and then there's also probably the least likely, and there's a reason it's the least likely because it's also not talked about a lot. It's subscription based, but that wouldn't make sense.
It would not make
The
sense.
only games in like the gaming sphere that are subscription based are MMOs, so like World of Warcraft, I think Elder Scrolls Online, stuff like that. Those are usually subscription based. And like, do you know the mobile game Mario Run? Wait, no, that's
No.
not subscription. That's not subscription based.
There.
That's like you pay $10
Yeah.
once. You can play like one level, and then you have to pay for it. But they like
Okay, that's
market it as a
also
free game.
that's also like another type of model. Like, yeah, maybe the
Yeah,
adventure
wait,
mode's
that's
free
a
to
good
play,
point.
and then multiplayer and everything else could be pay to play,
Okay,
which
I'm
is
glad I brought
stupid.
that up.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so it could be like Hytale has one portion of it free, so like the adventure mode, but
mhm.
everything else, like the multiplayer, you have to pay for or model maker, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have four different payment options.
Yes.
Which do you think is the least likely to happen?
Well, there's two that are very unlikely to happen. I think the adventure
I
mode
think
being
one's a
free.
lot more unlikely than the
Yeah,
other.
I think the adventure
I
mode
think
being free.
subscriptions.
Really?
I think subscriptions less likely.
Well, it's not like
Yeah,
Disney Plus or Netflix, so you're not gonna have to pay for it every single month.
that
Granted,
would be what a subscription is.
yeah,
Because
granted,
like World
that
of
would
Warcraft
be.
is like $10 every month.
Is it really? That's crazy. But like, that
Yeah,
would be a
I'm gonna.
great like constant income for Hytale. It's just that players aren't gonna be willing to spend like $120 a year for Hytale. That's just completely unrealistic, especially when they could either make the game free to play or they could make the game a one-time like $60 payment. Why ask people in like 10 years they're gonna be spending $1,200 at a minimum for Hytale? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, that is what happened to World of Warcraft because 1 month of it is $15. Now,
Whoa.
there are bundles, and that's how they kind of get you, is like the more you pay ahead, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, for a year, it's obviously not going to be 15 a month for a year, but like, you're still paying a subscription. You still have to
Mm-hmm.
rebuy the game every single time.
Yes.
And if you don't pay the subscription, you just don't have the game anymore. I personally am very against that type of monetization model. I think it can make sense for MMOs due to the nature of the game, but like for Hytale, that's just not at all what it is.
No,
Because
exactly. And I
it's a
honestly,
sandbox. It you have to create your stuff, and
mhm,
if you build something and then want to come back to it in a few months, but you don't have the subscription, you can't really do that.
yeah,
Doesn't make
but
sense.
I do have to say it can work, but not for like the base game. Because we see in Hypixel, like the Minecraft server, the highest rank MVP plus plus is a monthly subscription of, I believe, $7.99. It is Canadian dollars or whatever. It might be cheaper in American. So every month you pay $7.99, but you could buy like a 12-month bundle to make it like, I don't know, $5.99 a month or whatever. So in that circumstance, it can work, but just not for the full game itself.
Yeah, so I think they're definitely gonna have ranks
Hmm.
similar to what they have in Hypixel in the official like multiplayer hubs.
For sure.
Um, so similar to how Hypixel has their server, yeah, it's gonna be the same thing kind of in Hytale because I mean the server hubs aren't gonna really change. We've seen what they have in the trailer. Obviously, it's gonna change a lot, but
Hmm.
the same type of minigame hub is gonna be there, and so what is a great way to monetize it? And people are okay with it. That's another thing. It is a model that has worked, and people have not complained about it. Obviously, there's like before the EULA stuff, there might have been some pay to win stuff. Um, they don't have to abide by that EULA anymore. So theoretically, they could make it pay to win.
Hmm.
I don't see them doing it though because there will be a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Will that matter? I don't know. because they might just make enough money to the point where they don't need to hear about community feedback, which I I'm saying this as a possibility, but I don't think it's likely.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
don't
you know
think
what I
it's
mean?
likely at all. Like the Hytale and Hypixel studios, they really thrive themselves off their community, and we've seen like in the past that they have made like adjustments to games or aspects when the community does want it. So I don't think they're just gonna say, "Oh, we're making millions." Yeah, we don't care about the community.
Yeah. There is like a point to where that makes sense. So a lot of like gotcha games, take like Genshin Impact for example. Well, I don't know if that's a right example, but like a lot of games or mobile games that just like make so much money, or I guess the better example is franchises. Franchises, a lot of franchises that have a mobile game make the majority of their money from mobile games. I think Fire Emblem's a fantastic example. The
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem mobile game, it's a gotcha game, has made more money combined than any Fire Emblem game that has ever come out.
Wow.
That
Just
is what their moneymaker is. And right now, they're only making new Fire Emblem games to add new characters for the mobile games so they can make more money.
so
So, like,
is that game? Is it free to play on mobile?
on mobile, yeah, because it's a gotcha game, and the way you
Mm-hmm.
spend money is the microtransactions to
Yes.
pull characters.
Exactly.
The
Okay.
games are, to my knowledge, the Fire Emblem games they're still making are pretty good and solid stories. People like them. But theoretically, they could be at a point where they're like, hey, we make so much money. We don't really need to put that much effort into the main games anymore. We just
Mm-hmm.
need to make new characters so that people buy them.
Yeah.
That is a thing that developers can do. I can't think of a company right now that does that. I think there are certain games that do that. I only brought up Fire Emblem as an example of like they could do that, but they don't.
What about
Yeah.
Among Us, for example? Because it's paid to play on Steam, right?
Yeah.
But it's also free to play on mobile, and you make money through microtransactions on there. So I don't know the monetization split between the two games, but I assume it is very similar to the Fire Emblem game, as there's millions and millions and millions of more people who can play it on their phone rather than on the computer because
Yeah.
it is free to play.
Yeah, I assume the mobile Among Us brings in a lot more money than the PC one, even though
Hmm.
like it's well, yeah, it started originally as a mobile game and then they
Yeah.
ported it to PC. That is a common trend though that we see with mobile games is a lot of time mobile games will come to PC and it will be paid on PC. But the PC version will have like a bunch of stuff already unlocked, blah blah blah, so you
Better
don't need to
graphics too and all that.
buy a lot of the microtransactions. So
Hmm.
for certain games, it is fair to be able to pay it for a PC version.
Hmm.
But yeah, that is also a monetization thing. Is like the mobile games just make so much money, and that's the thing we have to think about. Is Hytale's gonna be on your phones. If you have a somewhat new iPhone or a Samsung or whatever phone brand you have, if it's probably not older than 5 years, there's a good chance that you will be able to run Hytale, and that's
100%.
a huge market. I
Dude,
can definitely see
the
Hytale Mobile being the biggest market next to PC, or like as big as PC.
It
I think
arguably could be bigger. That like it depending on if Hytale is free to play on PC compared to mobile. If it's both free to play,
I
then yeah,
assume
I
they're
think it'll be
both
very
going to be.
similar.
I assume they're both going to be free to play.
Yeah, we'll get
But
to that later though.
a good example of this is PUBG.
Hmm.
PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the game that is synonymous with PC, is so big for mobile, especially in the Asian markets. PUBG Mobile is like one of the biggest games in the entire world. And it's
Really?
something we don't really know about because it's not that prominent in the American and European markets, but like in Asia, mobile games in general in Asia are huge. Have you ever heard of Garena Free Fire? Free Fire or Free Fall? One of the two. It's another mobile
Free fall
battle royale.
sounds
Garena
familiar.
Free Fall.
It
Let's just go with
sounds
that.
familiar.
That is also one of the biggest games in the entire world. Has some of the
Is
biggest esports in the entire world.
hmm
Something we don't know about because it's not in our markets, but like in Asia, like I said, it's huge.
Yeah.
So the mobile game for Hytale also likely has that possibility of just hitting that Asian market and really dominating.
That's a lot, dude. And I was just looking at some stats for Fortnite, and this is from 2023, January 9th, 2023, and it says Hytale, or no, I said Hytale. Fortnite has 80 concurrent 80 concurrent million players on PC, and then it says 83.3 concurrent players on mobile. Both are free to play,
Really?
but
It has that many mobile players?
I feel like that is actually quite small for mobile. And who knows? This is from business, so
Is it still on the App
fabs.com.
Store? Is it still in the App Store? Because there was that
Oh, really?
huge lawsuit. I'm gonna actually
Maybe
check right
that could be why it's so low, because I
now.
expected mobile to be way
On my
higher.
phone right now.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Fortnite. It says no, it's gone. It's not there for me.
Yeah,
I've-
it's not even available for iOS users. So
Yeah.
those numbers are all. I don't know if you can still play it for people who had it downloaded before.
No idea. I've never had it.
That is only for Android. That's insane.
Oh, that's only so it's just off on iPhone then, or the App Store.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
you-
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Oh no, I think the way they did it, I don't know. I'm gonna Google this. Can you get Fortnite on iPhone still? They might
Yeah,
have
I
it
don't-
when you download it from someone else.
honestly, they could probably just use some sort of emulator to get it on their phone anyway if you're really that much of a diehard for it. But yeah, dude, 80 million on mobile, and it's not even on half of or majority of people's phones anymore. Like that's absolutely insane. So imagine that if
Yeah,
Hytale was
you
free.
can't get it on iOS. The only ways you can get it is like cloud streaming through Xbox Cloud Gaming or Nvidia Cloud Gaming.
Which is unbelievable. And that was just PC. There was no console statistics on there as well, so I don't know what those numbers are. But that's insane, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, and I'm just going to assume none of those numbers are really from iOS because the majority of people will not know how to use Xbox Cloud Streaming or Nvidia Cloud Streaming. I'm
Right.
sure there are a few people that do that, but that dominant number, the highest majority of player base is on mobile for Fortnite, and that's just Android. That's not even counting iOS.
So you could basically double that or even triple that.
Yeah.
If
I wouldn't
mobile.
say triple because Android is huge.
That is
I'd
true,
say
yeah.
double though.
Yeah,
It
definitely
is-
double.
I assume it's like 50-50.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
literally, majority of people in the States, I'd say, have probably iPhones or somewhat around there. A lot of people in Canada's got iPhones, so.
It's generally the United States that has more iPhone. I think most other countries have Android more.
Yeah, that's still, but there's
Yeah, it's
500
missing
million people in the
it's-
States, so.
This is a huge American market. So
Mhm.
take that into perspective when you put that for Hytale.
Yeah, dude.
Mind blowing.
So many players. And honestly, what is the biggest, block game or genre, RPG or roleplay game right now that is...
Minecraft.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, Minecraft, it has a paywall behind it in mobile, right? And
Yeah, it's paid on all platforms.
oh, is it really? Okay. So that is a lot of potential players that they are losing if the game was free to play. We see a lot of people download those fake Minecraft ripoffs, even though they're not Minecraft at all. Dude,
oh my god.
I did
didn't
that
have-
as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't have enough money to buy
Buy
Minecraft, and even if I did, my parents were like,
It's
This is
$8.
some
It's $8. No, right? So then you get the closest knockoff, which is called Block World, and you play that,
Yeah,
and you can
I
you
used
dig?
to play like Flash games. Like
Oh, really?
Flash Minecraft games. They were so bad.
You can literally do one thing. It's like break a tree, and that's it.
Yeah, break a tree or break dirt, and that was it. It was 2D. It wasn't even a 3D Minecraft.
Oh my god, it's like Terraria, dude.
It was an experience. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's also a big thing. Is like, if it's free to play, like 7-year-old me could play it.
Yeah, and you want to get into
7-year-old me could not play it.
Yeah, do you want to get into that free to play debate right now as we're talking about this?
I think we talk about the payment options. So the other option was that adventure mode or one of the modes.
Let's
It's
go with this.
multiplayer or adventure. I don't know. I'm actually leaning towards multiplayer being free rather than adventure.
So you can play with your friends?
Yes. Because a lot of games have it where a story mode a story mode might be pay to play. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't know if Halo's story mode, the newest Halo, I know the multiplayer was free, but I don't know if I'm gonna Google this right now.
That's quite interesting then, because I guess that sort of does help, because then if you do have a free-to-play multiplayer, you still can, pay towards microtransactions, which could, bring in some more revenue, unless... And instead of just paying for the adventure mode or getting the adventure mode free for once, and there's not really any microtransactions in the adventure mode, right? So I guess in the long run, you could, if you don't decide to buy Hytale.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is exactly what Halo Infinite did.
Okay.
The multiplayer is free to play,
Yep.
but if you want to access the campaign, it is $60 as if you're buying a full game.
Interesting.
So theoretically, Hytale could do the same,
Mm-hmm.
where the multiplayer hub, or maybe even multiplayer as well as like community servers are free. But if you want to access the single player campaign, then you do like a purchase of $30, maybe 30,
Okay.
$40. Um,
I
I don't know where they would cross the line of saying this is free and this is not, because like we know in Hytale there are so many things you could do,
mm-hmm.
and deciding whether or not, hey, this is going to be free, this is going to be paid, I think it gets tricky, and that's why I think it's unlikely. But it is,
Especially for a game like Hytale. Like you won't like
yeah.
Minecraft doesn't do that. It's just either it's a one-time purchase. Like Fortnite isn't free, so like it's kind of
I
weird.
thought, okay, I actually can almost confidently say this is not happening because of the latest blog post, and I say latest, it's a year old, talking about the doors. They say they like specifically say it is not three separate doors. It is one like gateway to an experience.
Okay.
I
So they're
don't think
not
they
going to
worded
have
it that
one
way,
of
but
those
I think my
gates
wording
behind a
sounds better
paywall.
than whatever they said. So I think for that reason itself, they do not want to have they'd basically be separating the doors by making this free to play and this pay to play.
Yeah, nobody wants a locked door that you have to pay like $7.99 just to unlock like
Yeah,
the
get the
the,
key.
the model maker. Like why would you even have that? Yeah, I think this payment method. I mean, it's possible. Like everything we're talking about is still possible as we know
Yes.
nothing about the monetization model, but it's just insanely unrealistic to think of these
Yeah, but
two.
I think strictly because of the way they worded the doors, and I don't think I would have come to this conclusion if they didn't do it.
Hmm.
And I will say, when I read that door analogy, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I personally am not a fan of half the blog post being like about the doors and just telling us, hey, this, yeah, we have a bunch of game modes, but they're all connected. I
Hmm.
thought it was like filler. And I still think it is, but it does clear up this theory that part of it could be paid and part of it could not be. That's just not happening
Yeah.
because of what they said for the doors. So
Yeah.
for that part of the blog post, thank you.
Yeah, and speaking of paid, let's get to like a one-time payment option for Hytale. Because a lot of people, and people on the Reddit, I know this is their favorite option because
And comments.
yeah, YouTube comments. People just like games that are paid because it's what they're really used to. And a lot of people compare Hytale to Minecraft, and Minecraft is a one-time payment. Sure, back in
Yeah.
the day it was like $10. When I bought it, it was like $21. Now it's what, like 35. So it
It
is
was
going up with the
24 when I
times.
bought it.
Yeah, so it's going up, and that kind of sucks for like people, like younger people. Like when I bought it, I was like 10 years old. Now,
I mean,
like
inflation.
yes, yeah, of course, inflation. That's a
Then
thing,
again, a
but
lot of online games, so that's not really
yeah,
much
but
of
I
a
mean,
topic.
then
Yeah,
they'll buy COD for like $70 every year. So I don't know. I don't know how people think of that. So one-time payment. What do you think about that, Mine?
I think it's possible, but there's one thing that people always say with the one-time payment, and it is their argument for why they want it to be and think it's going to be pay to
I
play.
already know what you're gonna say.
Yes. The argument that because the game is pay to play, there will be no microtransactions is false. That just is not a reality in 2023. I'm sorry to tell you. It's not happening.
I
There
want I
will
want
be
the comment section to name a
microtransactions
game.
regardless of the payment type. If it's free to play, there will be microtransactions. If it's pay to play, there will be transactions. There's no way around it. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
If there's a
That is,
subscription model, there'll be microtransactions. No matter what way they choose,
yeah.
there will
Yeah,
be
MMOs will
microtransactions.
have microtransactions and they charge you $10 a month.
Yeah, no, seriously. There's gonna be microtransactions. So all of you people on Reddit who think I'm gonna buy Hytale for $60 and not have to pay for a single skin, any form of DLC to play servers, to host a server, to run a server, to do anything, you think that's all gonna be free? You're wrong. I will tell you that right now because that is just a good payment method or monetization method in 2023. Sure, you'll get a bunch of money right up front when everybody buys the game, but 10 years down the line, when there's still people, yeah, they'll still be discovering Hytale. But when they're like less and less people are discovering Hytale, what's going to keep that game running? Those microtransactions. And if you don't have those, the game won't be running.
And I got some bad news for all the people saying, "Oh, well, Minecraft doesn't have microtransactions."
Oh,
Yes,
yes, it does, sir.
it does. Java is only what 20% of the player base. Java, wait, no, even Java has microtransactions. Realms,
Oh, yeah, it does.
you still have to pay to make your own server.
Yep. Don't even get started about hosting servers. Like, that's way more expensive, too.
It is genuinely difficult to think of a game that is pay to play that does not have microtransactions. The only ones that people will likely be able to name are strict single player story games.
I was going to say Jedi Fallen Order, but that is a strict
That is a
single-player game.
Story game.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
what
The
multiplayer
other
game out there?
Are like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. I think people could bring up Elden Ring. I don't think there's any other transactions there.
Is there a multiplayer in it?
I think there's like a co-op, but not like true multiplayer.
Okay,
no.
okay. So,
I'm genuinely trying to think of paid
I am
games
too.
on the market.
That's...
I'm gonna go because usually the way I look at
Cyberpunk.
games,
Did Cyberpunk have microtransactions? I never played it.
is Cyberpunk multiplayer?
I don't know. I never played it.
I don't know.
I think it's got multiplayer.
Talk about, but
Yeah.
okay. Here's the thing: even if someone can name one game or even two games, that is one game or two games out of the hundreds of thousands of other games that all have microtransactions.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if those games are released like mid 2010s or even earlier than 2010, because once again, that method of monetization just isn't viable anymore.
Yeah. So let's talk about pay to play. What do you think the price would be? And I know you don't even like assume the fact that it could be played.
I know.
If it is,
Yes.
what do you think the price will be?
If it has to be pay to play, I would say probably around the price of Minecraft right now, or when it does its next inflation raise. So what's it, like $31, $32 now, I think it is? So let's go with like 35 to 40. I think that's quite fair. It would make the players...
Minecraft is $30.
$30? Okay, so maybe like $35 when the inflation goes up, or even if it sticks at 30, I guess that's kind of fair as well. So I'll just go a little bit broad here and say like $30 to $40 depending on tax or whatever.
Here's my argument, and I agree with you about saying Minecraft's price.
Yeah.
I think if it is pay to play, the game must be equal or less than Minecraft. It cannot be more than Minecraft. Minecraft is $30. The game cannot be more than $30, because if a kid is looking at block games and their favorite YouTubers playing one or the other,
Yeah.
and they can only get one from their Christmas or birthday money, they're gonna pick the cheaper one.
They're gonna pick.
That's just
Also,
how it
Minecraft does have that name recognition as
Yeah.
well. So if you see a
Minecraft
game,
also has the establishment.
Yeah.
Everyone's friends plays Minecraft. Hytale needs to be competitive. And I say this as like probably one of its biggest fans. We are both one of its biggest fans, and we
Agreed.
acknowledge that. Hey,
we have a podcast.
it can't do stupid things to gain market dominance. It can't. It needs to be competitive. Minecraft, as much as people are gonna like to say, like the hardcore fans are gonna be like, oh, but it's so much better than Minecraft. There's not even gonna be a competition. Yes, there is. Minecraft has the 15-year dominance. It will always be around. I don't think Minecraft will die, and it just needs to be able to compete. I like the example of CSGO and Valorant, because both of them are existing at the same time.
Yeah.
Valorant is pretty much CSGO changed, because it's the same. It's a tactical shooter.
Yeah.
And they are both thriving right now.
They're the
both
only two,
beautiful,
really, though. The
arguably.
only two.
Yeah, they are the only two tactical shooters. I mean, there's like a bunch of really low player count free-to-play ones, but
Yeah.
They can coexist, and they are both competitive about each other. CSGO just released CS2, or like the beta for it. They can coexist, and I know
They can.
two communities like to argue against each other and like shit on each other, but like as an outsider, I don't really care for both games. They're both fine. They're both probably gonna live for 10 plus years more.
Agreed. And they have the backing to do it. They have the player base. They got the
Yeah.
streamers and content creators to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah, and
they'll
hopefully
thrive.
that's the same thing gonna be with Minecraft. They can both coexist.
I
I know
I
there's
think
so much tension between the two communities,
Dude,
and I don't
Hytale's
think
not even out yet, and there's already so much beef between Minecraft and Hytale. Granted, I have partaken in a lot of it, but it's fun. It's fun to just mess around with like Minecraft fans saying like, "Oh, no one's there's nothing better than the Nether," and then you just look at Zone 4 and it's like 30 times better. But you know they can
what that
co.
place do. Every single time you imitate either like a viewer or a redditor or a Minecraft fan, you do like that, or like an old person, you do that voice. It's
Yeah,
so
that's
fun.
my imitating voice. Yeah, but they can coexist. Sure, we'll be on the Hytale side. It's quite obvious. I mean, I don't have a Minecraft podcast, but I believe both games can coexist. And I don't know. I haven't outgrown Minecraft. It's just I want to look at something different, really.
I mean, I have.
Really, I can still play it. It's just like after one game on Hypixel, I get hopped on. I'm just like I hate this game and I throw everything. So yeah, I get a
That's
little
fair.
angry. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, so that's my opinion about the pricing. It needs to be lower or equal to.
No, that's completely fair. So, what would you say of it being like 10 to 15, maybe 10 to $20 then? Because that's like
10
$10
low.
cheaper than Minecraft. Because 10 is low.
$10 is really low.
It is low. Like, what do you unlock with $10, right?
I think 20, 25, 30, those are all valid.
hmm
20 could be low. I think 30 is fine. I think if it prices itself the same as Minecraft, I think it's fine.
But like, what games are like 10 to $20 now? Like, I
Indie games.
can't even think of one. Which
Indie
one?
games.
Indie games? Okay, that's it.
That's all I could think about.
Yeah.
But like no AAA or even AA games are that cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, maybe if Hytale released back in 2019, it could have been that price as it was like strictly like an indie game back then. Now it has like the backing by Riot. Riot knows how to market a game, how to publish a game, how to get a game out there. So yeah, I don't
Another
think it would
thing
be.
I want to ask people, can you name a single Riot game that costs money?
They can't. They
'Cause I
can't,
can't.
dude. They single-handedly can't.
So let's talk about it. I think we talked about pay to play a fair amount, and I know there's a lot of passionate people for the pay to play side talking. Put them down in the comments. We will have a special guest on in the future to further this discussion, give
And
different inputs. So if you want to talk about what your thoughts about the pay to play or free to play or subscription
hmm
models are,
Okay.
put them down in the comments, and we'll definitely make note of them and use them in our next discussion.
Yeah.
Free to play
Oh, the best.
or baby. I'm gonna let you go off first.
Dude, free to play is the best way for Hytale to market itself, to have a monetization platform, because the player base is basically unlimited. Like, sure, yeah, 7 billion people is kind of limited. That's the limitation you have. But not everybody is going to be playing Hytale, obviously. And not just like not everybody's played Fortnite, not everybody's played Minecraft, not everybody's played, I don't know, all these other games out there. But if the game is free to play, just imagine the reach that it will have. And just, for example, it's free to play on on console, on mobile, on PC, all three platforms, or even Switch or whatever, if it's going to be on there. Who knows? Maybe you could play it on like your Nokia or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it's free on, somebody will have. Like, even if you like not in the biggest
I'm gonna
like.
have to interject you real quick. You can continue talking.
Okay,
Imagine Hytale in a Tesla car.
that would be insane. Like on those iPads, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're wanting to put like Cyberpunk and Witcher on there. Why
Really?
not add Hytale to the mix?
What was
Play
that like
Hytale while you're
HTML5 or whatever the heck they call it? Or
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but like
Anyway, continue.
like even if you don't have the strongest like financial background, you probably have some sort of device that can at least run Hytale, like on your phone, or maybe I don't know, maybe some kids got like a PS4 or something. So the reach that it would have would be absolutely insane. And I go back to this a lot, and I talk about India because millions and millions of people every single day gain access to the internet in India, gain access to technology. And what's the first thing that they do? They find a mobile game that's free to play for, like, for example, Fortnite, or I don't know what game's popular down there, but something down there. I know there's a game down there that is insanely popular that I've never even heard of, but it's got like millions of players because all these people from India are playing it. So if Hytale can market itself down in India, that is basically 1 billion people that could be potential suitors for
PUBG
this game.
Mobile and Garena Free Fall.
That's the one. It's the free fall game. I've never really heard it, never really played of it. But yeah, PUBG. I knew it was one of them. I was thinking Fortnite, PUBG.
Free Fire. Those two are the.
And what's the player base for Free Fire? It's probably like millions and millions and millions of people because India's got billions of people in their country. And this is just overall reach.
As we speak, there are 2.8 million people playing the game.
Nice, and it is nighttime right now in India. Just want to point that out.
It is nighttime in most of Asia.
Yeah.
The last 30 days, it had 187 million players.
Dude, that's unbelievable. That's more than what Fortnite had when we were talking about it earlier in January. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's just the last 30 days is 187 million users.
That's a lot. I don't know the time span that Fortnite did, but that number's already bigger. So, and that's just one country. We know Hytale is owned by Riot, or not owned by Riot, has a part of it by Tencent. Tencent's in China. China's got billions of players. Sure, they'll be split up because, China and the rest of the world don't really communicate. Go ahead.
I'm on an article right now.
Yeah.
As of May 2022, PUBG Mobile has so much more than 510 million average monthly gamers and more than 42 million players who are actively playing the game every day across the globe. Free Fire has boasted more than 315 million average players and more than 41 active players around the world.
Wow.
What?
And I can assure you, like, a third of those numbers are probably from India.
300. Oh, so combining the two games, there are 850 million people playing the game.
Dude, that's like an eighth of the population.
That's 1/7 of the world, almost.
That's like an eighth, or not even like a tenth of the world. So imagine you put Hytale in those areas that are insanely populated, like India, China, I don't know how much Japan is, Japan, Brazil, all these countries with like millions and millions of people, obviously the States and all these big countries as well. The player base will be astronomical if the game is free to play. And I just want to rest my case right there already. I haven't even spoken about other aspects. This is just the reach that it would have if it's free to play. But I'll let you go because I spoke already quite a lot.
Yeah. If those numbers don't mean anything, I don't know. I will say, it's not going to reach those numbers.
Not
I'm
yet.
pretty confident about that. But even if it gets a fraction of that, 850 million players playing these two mobile battle royale games. Like what?
Dude, that's just battle royale games. They're literally competing against each other. like you don't. Like, if you look up the monthly players in India or any of the smaller countries, well, not smaller countries, but, like, less, I guess, financially strong countries, compare the free-to-play games to Minecraft. You'll see nobody plays Minecraft there. Not like, yes, they play Minecraft in China, but they have their own version of Minecraft, and I believe it's free-to-play in China. In India, exactly, and that's why, like, 1/3 of China plays Minecraft, but it's not the same Minecraft that we have. It's a completely different Minecraft. It's insane. So if you compare like PUBG or that Free Fire game to Minecraft in India, you can't even compare them. Like the numbers are just so astronomically different. And if Hytale's free to play there, dude, it could be up on the top of that list.
And a lot of people, when Riot signed Hytale, they were like, ooh, I don't like this. Tencent owns Riot. Tencent's Chinese. I don't know how I like that. That's a huge market. Tencent owns China.
Yeah,
man.
and
they Hytale in China. Hello?
Yeah, you were saying earlier that Minecraft's like $30, like US dollars.
Yes.
If you convert that to the rupee, which is the Indian currency, that's 2,465 Indian rupees. That is a lot of money down there, dude.
It's so expensive.
That's
why the Indian market, especially, plays a lot of free to play games.
Exactly. Like if you even compare that to Venezuela, like $1 is like 3 million Venezuelan currency, dude. It's
I'm not sure Venezuela.
dude, it's unbelievable. So yeah, they only play free to play games there too. So I'm just saying, free to play is the way to go, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree, and I think people forget that there's something like places outside of America or Europe.
100%.
Because $30 for a game in for our country or the European countries, depending on where you live, there's some places where $30 is a lot, but for most of the developed countries, it's really not that bad.
Mhm.
But if you go outside of the Western world, $30 for a game is kind of a lot,
It's a lot of
and
money.
it becomes a barrier.
It's a massive barrier, dude. And I've talked to people before, like in the F1 community that I'm in. There's a big Indian fan base, or like Japanese fan base, or like Russian fan base. And yeah, now the Russian dollar's tanked, and I haven't spoken to those guys in a while. But the India currency, like they can't buy the F1 game because it's like 60, 70, 80 Canadian dollars, which is like
I mean,
5,000,
dollars
6,000.
already kind of crazy. You guys pay like $100 for a game
No,
sometimes.
it's unbelievable. We do. Like COD right now is like $120. Like it's insane. But I also don't play COD. The only thing I pay for is like the F1 game every year, but that's about it. But dude, the paywall, I just feel so bad for those people. Like, yeah, they can play the game for free. Obviously, that's completely fine. They're not going to buy the microtransactions, but at least they're playing the game. And just say in the future they do get enough money to buy the microtransactions, then yeah, they can buy it. But it's because they have the game already and they actually want to support it by like purchasing that cool skin or buying a server or something like that.
I have a question for you regarding if Hytale is pay to play, and that is Minecraft for the Windows like Bedrock Edition
Mm-hmm.
and the mobile Bedrock Edition, different prices. I believe
Oh,
the
really?
mobile game is like $8. I will double check that real
I
quick.
haven't played Bedrock well, I played Pocket Edition back when I was younger, but
Yeah, how much does Pocket Edition cost?
it
So
was
Minecraft
seven
right
bucks.
now, yeah, it's $7.
Still $7. Wow, surprised it hasn't
Yeah,
gone up.
so it is $7 for the phone, but it's like $30 on console or
Is it?
PC.
Okay. Well, do you get
Yeah.
more in the console version then compared to the Pocket Edition?
Well, it's Bedrock, so you
I've
can
never played it.
play.
I don't play Bedrock.
Bedrock is basically you can play with console, you can play with PC, you can play with mobile.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you can get
Oh,
Bedrock on the PC, right? Like,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
the Windows Shop.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it is the same game except it's just cheaper for the phone. But
Mm,
also it makes sense because who is paying $30 for a mobile game?
nobody. Absolute. Actually,
Fair
there
enough.
is one mobile game that's like $900 that I saw some guy buy once, but
Yeah,
nobody's buying that.
but those are the exceptions.
Yes.
So do you think Hytale will also be like $6 or $7 on the
Not a
phone
chance.
and then $30 on the PC and
No.
console?
No. Not a chance. I think if it's on any platform, it's going to be consistent. A consistent zero would be the best, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
like they're not going to make a mobile game like just say for example Hytale's like $60. They're not going to make the console edition like half of that, which is $30, and they're not going to make the mobile edition of that
Well, the
half
console
of
will
that,
be
which
the
is like
same price
15.
as PC.
So,
Usually console games and PC games are the same price.
yeah, so I just don't think they'll do that though. Like like we know Hytale wants to have the most empowered community in like in the whole world, and why not get the whole world and make it free to play?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good argument that needs to be talked about is assuming the game is $60, you get everything. And let's even just say there's no microtransactions. Fuck it, we'll throw that in. Just for
Imagine.
this argument, are you're paying $60 for the phone game? Like,
Who what?
I don't know a single game that is $60 for the phone. A lot of games have like ported versions, but I don't know. No one's paying $60 for an app on their phone.
No. No.
Sorry.
But you know what they will pay for? They will pay for, like, over time, they will pay for microtransactions that add up to or even more than $60 if the game is free to play.
Yeah. So we've talked about these microtransactions.
Yeah.
What are they going to be?
Okay, it's quite self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure gonna have ranks on servers.
Yes.
Very, very obvious. It's gonna happen. I
Yes.
wouldn't be surprised if you have to pay to host a server or run a like multiplayer like Hytale server. Would not be surprised if it's through Hytale, which I believe it's going to be, unless there's like websites out there that do it. That
Yeah,
makes
I would
sense.
assume they want to keep it in-house.
Yeah, and
So,
it would make sense if that's behind a paywall. It just makes sense.
and I do want to clarify for people listening, paying for a Hytale server does not mean you have to pay to play with your friends.
Yeah.
You will still be able to, and I firmly believe this, if it is free to play, and even if it's pay to play,
Mm-hmm.
launching your adventure world or launching your creative world, you will still be able to invite, let's say, 4 friends.
Yes.
I don't know what the limit for that's going to be.
You think
I
that
would
could be
want
behind a paywall? The increasing the limit?
Oh, increasing the limit could be a paywall. That's actually pretty good. So it could be like the free to play is like max 4 people in a world. I would hope it's 8 people in a world.
I was thinking like 5. That's like a solid number to like base
Yeah,
around.
but like maybe like a beginner upgrade is like you can pay some sort of money to be able to invite, or yeah, that would, I guess that would come with ranks, wouldn't it?
Sort of. Well, that would be sort of more like the. I was thinking more of like the Hypixel server in like Hytale.
Right, but you could buy like a rank, I guess, and that gives you, well, I guess for the adventure that would be the only thing you could monetize. So
So like,
no,
yeah, it would make. I don't know.
because story isn't going to be locked behind a paywall.
No, not at all. Like, nah, they can't be. Like they're not just gonna have, hey, here's multiplayer, but $60 for the adventure mode. Don't do that. You know, they're not. They're not gonna have that.
Yeah, so I actually don't know. I don't think increasing the player limit for money would really work.
I think it's
'Cause
possible, but I
would
think
it
it's
be
quite
like a
unlikely.
one-time payment, like $5 to increase the player limit?
What, to like unlimited or like 10, 15?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or would
But
it be like subscription based, or I mean that could be subscription based.
yeah, so there's ways that subscription based could work, just like we said, not for the full game. But
Yeah.
other ways you could monetize, obviously, skins. That's a very important thing. Like cosmetics. Once again, that happens. Every
We've
game
talked
has
about that.
cosmetics.
People get very scared when we say skins, and I think we're both in the belief that some sort of character customization will be locked behind a paywall.
Yes, by that I mean like custom design like shirts, pants, hats, gloves, scarves that have like I don't know, maybe some cooler logos or more intricate designs. Like we see in the Hytale trailer, there's already dozens and dozens of like t-shirts and pants and hats and glasses that you could already choose from that are going to be free. We didn't see anything behind a locked wall, did we? That we know of. So, yeah, will there be them? Will there not? We
Yeah.
don't know.
So here's my theory for that. It won't make sense, and it's probably not possible to lock any sort of character customization in adventure, creative, or player servers,
No.
because we've shown you can mod anything in.
Yep.
So if you can turn yourself into a dragon, you can give yourself a beanie. That's not in the game.
Hmm.
And so why would you buy a beanie if you could just mod that in? The only way they could do that is on the like official Hytale server.
Yeah.
So they have their basic set of customization, and it's going to be enough for like most of the player base. But if you want to get that step up and make your character super customizable and like have unique shirts or like special event based shirts, then you can buy that, and those will be displayed in the official Hytale hub mini games whatever server,
Yeah, and
because they can control that.
they can.
People are not going to be able to mod in their custom stuff in the like official servers, because that wouldn't make sense if you turn into a dragon in the middle of a Skywars game.
What's the
That would
point,
make
right? Yeah. And even I was even thinking more like seasonal cosmetics because we see that in Hypixel as well. Like there are like seasonal cosmetics. Like yeah, you can buy like a morph that transforms you into like a snowman. Like sure, you can get it out of like a box or something like those Hypixel boxes. But you also could just buy it off the Hypixel website that a lot of people do. So other things like that, it's going to be more pay to look cool. It's not going to be pay to win. Pay to win is just it's who pay to win sucks. Nobody likes pay to win, and I mean they can do it.
Yeah.
It's just why would
They
they do
can
it?
do it, and I think if they ever like if it ever crosses their mind that hey, we want to do something pay to win, A, it is going to be in a non-competitive game mode,
Mm-hmm.
such as Skyblock. In Skyblock Hypixel, you are not competing against anyone else. You are just progressing.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's not really pay to win, it's pay to make it go faster. It's like the Clash of Clans model, kind of.
Yeah,
If you want to like
sort of.
build your base faster, then you can spend money.
But there's always
Um,
gonna be someone better than you. That's the thing.
in Skyblock, if you want to have your stuff go faster, you could pay money.
Yeah.
Um, but you are not like actively competing against someone and have an advantage against someone else to
Yeah.
win a prize or win a game or something.
Exactly. It's not
They're
like
not
ranked
gonna make
Sky Wars.
Star Wars
Yeah.
pay to win.
Yeah. They're not gonna. Like, there's no way in heck they can do that. Like, possibly, you could buy coins off the Hypixel website, which helps you buy specific perks or like kits that are a little bit more overpowered than like the default kits. And but then again, it
Yeah,
still helps you
but they
progress
already
faster.
changed. Didn't they change that like it did a rework during the EULA changes? Because it was like pretty
Maybe.
pay to win,
Yeah.
and then they had to like ramp it down and not make it
Yeah,
as pay.
and now like what they did, I believe they added like souls and stuff. So every kill you get, like every 10 opens up like a box, and then in those boxes you can like open them. You get like the kit. Sometimes you get legendary, sometimes you get commons or uncommons and all that. So yeah, you could buy coins, which helps you get that faster. But you can also just play the game more, and
Yeah,
over time you'll get it.
yeah, I totally agree with you.
So at the end, like we're at 47 minutes already right now. We spoke about this for so long. We'll get into viewer questions just after this, but just to clear up, Myne, are you pro free to play? Are you pro pay to play? Are you pro half paid, half free, or are you pro subscription?
Imagine if I just say pro subscription.
Yes,
now.
sir. I got money
I
to
think
drop.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious that I'm pro free to play. I think both of us are pretty obviously pro free to play.
Yeah,
I
and
I can see a timeline where it's pay to play. I don't think it's beneficial.
it'd be kind of weird
Uh,
looking on the Riot launcher, seeing the one game on there. If it's on the Riot launcher, the one game pay to play is Hytale. That would be kind of weird.
I don't think that's an issue. I really don't. I just think in terms of the game will do better if it's free to play. I
Oh,
understand some of the
100%.
concerns people have with it being free to play,
Mm-hmm.
but most people say the reason they want it to be pay to play is because they don't like microtransactions, and that is just wrong. It will. So that's my reason.
Yep, and once, like we said, it's gonna be pay to look cool. That's probably the best way to do it anyway. And Fortnite does it. Fortnite has no pay to win in it, and look at it now. It's made billions. So, what do we think we're a part of High Circle. If you guys don't know, it's a Discord, with people in it. And I believe most of them in that Discord are pro free to play, but there are a few that are still pro pay to play, which is funny because
Rolo? What is Rolo?
I have no idea. But I know that I don't know off the top of my head, but there's quite a few like notable Hytale community figures that are like, yeah, free to play is the best model. And we might have somebody on the podcast next week to talk about this. Someone who is an economics major, I believe, who likes talking about money. Or what does he do? I think it's economics.
I don't think it's economics.
It's something to do with business. So we could continue this conversation next week. But let's get on to viewer questions right now, because we love viewer questions, best part of the podcast. And we got any good ones today?
Yeah, so that's a question for Radoons. That came in a little late.
Well, from when we had Redudes on the podcast like 3 weeks ago.
Cyborg Kreger asks, I hope that's how I pronounce it. What are your biggest concerns over Hytale other than getting to be a successful game, community, or platform? For example, my concerns included for now. What would be ideally sufficient when creating a modified entity block script? Or B, should we be prepared as a community? Should we be prepared a lot more as in whole community for what's coming?
So, biggest concern for Hytale, is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
I guess sort of if they go through like a development hell, I guess you could say, where they just
Like a
continuously
limbo, yeah.
need the game to be perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. There's always something you can improve on, but they just don't release it because they just don't think it's perfect, even though everybody watching is like, just release, come on, we think the game's good enough. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think at some point, and I'm sure they've had it already at, to a point where they're
Hmm.
like, oh my God, we need this, and then they realized we don't really need to put that much effort into it.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand that threat, and I think they do have that, especially with it being one of the most watched trailers of all time. They're like, oh my God, we have so many eyes, we need to make this and this and this and this perfect.
Yeah.
And to a point, I agree.
But
Because if it comes out and it is buggy, the game will not do well.
it won't. But it
It needs,
also,
it
if
needs
it's
to work
free, it still won't
day one.
perform. Yeah. But
It needs
I
to work.
believe at this point they will have ironed out most of the bugs. It's not like Cyberpunk. They didn't have a straight deadline that they had to follow, and they still didn't even follow it, and they released it, and they pushed it back, and it still sucked. Like, yeah, Hytale could have released in 2021 if they didn't decide to recode the entire game to fit into console, to mobile, to any platform, basically. It would have been out by now. I stand by that. It would have been out. But now they just got to iron out the bugs after they go through the platform. And if there is those bugs, yeah, that would suck. But that's what they have a beta for.
Is it too optimistic to say I don't have concerns?
No, I don't think so.
I think,
I don't
yeah,
think so.
I really just think it's the same or in a similar line of view. It's just the development. I
Like,
like
I'd like
they,
more notice or whatever. Like,
yeah,
I would love to hear
I
stuff.
think it goes in the same line of the notion for they need to think everything's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could be stuck in an idea of like we need this and we need that and we need that, and they add like too much and they just keep on adding more things to
Yeah.
do instead of just being like this is like planning out this is exactly the game we want coming out and we're going to work for this and when we have it we're going to push it out and
Yeah.
then we're going to add new features instead of being like okay we have this oh but we want this now we're going to work on this oh but that's really cool now we're going to work on this that could be dangerous. I don't know what their ideas are. They could outline it in a
Mm-hmm.
blog post, but I could see that being an issue where they just keep on seeing things that they could add and then they do and then they never reach like an end point.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, my concern is they don't know what the finished product should look like.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Good question though.
Yeah. The next question is, do you think Ultraverses will be in the beta release or something else? No.
I don't think so.
Uh, yeah.
Yep. No, we talked about that last or second last podcast. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't.
it'd be cool if it was though. I have to say.
What is what one thing do you really want to see in Hytale? Like one
Oh,
specific mechanic or item?
who said those
Ah,
questions? Who said the questions? You didn't shout them
it's
out.
RPG Penguin.
Ah, and
Oh,
the other
that
one?
was versus I Chase. Ask the current one about what do you want? And I
Wait, what was the
got
question?
a
I wasn't paying attention.
what one thing do you really want to see in Hytale? Like a specific mechanic or item, and we'll make
Ah,
this the last
oh,
question.
easy.
Oh, you have an answer. Go for it.
Yes, rideable rafters. I've said this
Yeah.
every time I get the chance. ITIL team, if you're watching, Skiolito, I'm looking at you. Put a saddle on that little boy, ride him around, and have some fun. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. Even if the devs don't want to do that, you can mod it in.
Exactly. So, haha, I have ways.
Yeah, my easy answer, and it won the vote 2 Thankmasses ago for like most requested feature.
Oh.
Proximity voice chat.
Aha, nice, 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 nice.
Proximity voice chat.
That would be so cool, dude. Like, imagine
Yeah.
just like, I could just picture it. You and the boys rocking up first time. You hear their voices in the distance. You meet up.
It's simple. It's probably not too. It's probably pretty simple to code since
It's in Minecraft. It's probably gonna be
Yeah.
It's gonna be way easier to
Do
put
it.
in Hytale.
Please do it. I want proximity voice chat.
Please, Hytale team.
It would be incredible for content
Mhm.
and fun to play around with. So
Yeah.
that is my idea for what I want. That is Chris's idea for what we want. What do you think about the pay to play or free to play argument? What are your thoughts? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next Hytale podcast. Peace.